Hello, this is Ben coming to you with another cube draft here on CubeTutor's website. I'm still learning how to operate this software, so I'm hoping I can get it to upload correctly. I just did the first one and it did not upload in HD, so I'm not sure if there's a length restriction on how long the video can be for me to be able to upload it in HD. So I might break this one up into two pieces and see how that goes. So, gonna do a draft. Alright. So pack one, pick one, couple choices. Bob is sweet. Gideon is obviously great. Consecrated Sphinx is really good too, but there's a lot of 6-7 mana blue finishers. And Scalding Tarn, maybe Dismember. So those are the best choices. If I wanted to force mono red, I could just take Grim Lavamancer. That's a fine first pick, but not great. If I wanted to force Reanimator, I could take Exhume. If you're drafting the Reanimate deck, that's probably in the top 10 of cards you want to see pack one, pick one, if you want to force Reanimator. But I think I'm just going to take the best card. To me, that's going to be Gideon. Gideon's just a great Planeswalker, and I like Bob a lot, but I think taking Gideon early, and then I have all sorts of options as far as which direction I can go. I'll probably end up being Orzhov, or I'll be blue-white control. Just depends. So take Gideon first, see what's next. And speaking of Orzhov, there's Sorin. Sorin is one of my favorite Planeswalkers, and I think he is criminally underdrafted, not just in my circle, but in a lot of different places where I see people play. And just videos I watch, and it's really underappreciated as a walker, but it spits out tokens just like Elspeth does. Obviously, the second ability is not nearly as good as Elspeth, but just being able to spit out tokens like Elspeth is really strong, and coming down, making a guy, being at 4 loyalty, and having the lifelink also is important, especially if you're in like black-white control. Being able to gain life at any point in the game is really key. So, cards I hope to wheel, maybe the Edict, maybe the Inquisition, nobody expects that, or Wall of Omens, or a Revoker. I would be happy with any one of those 4 cards wheeling. Possibly the Glacial Fortress in case I want to splash blue for some sweet card. But going to take Sorin and move into Orzhov. Alright, so there's the Godless Shrine. I should be disciplined and take that card, not try and live the dream and take Sun Titan. And I pass Sun Titan way more than I want to when I do this format. But I think just taking the dual land is the strong play here. And it's hard sometimes because I'll see a sweet card like Sun Titan, and I'll just want to take that instead of doing the correct play, which is Godless Shrine, which just makes my whole deck so much better. Turns out any white or black fetch land I get will automatically fix both my colors. So I have to take that card here. Alright, so Mana Vault is awesome, especially if I can go turn 1 Mana Vault, turn 2 Gideon. Seems pretty good, like Liliana as well. More than most people, I think Liliana's pretty sweet. I could take Watery Grave, because that turns on, if I get a blue-white fetch, then that'll turn on both sides of that, which would be nice. Pegasus I can get on the wheel. So I'm going to take Mana Vault here, because fast mana is sweet, and Mana Vault's one of the best. So Damnation jumps right out as black-white card, or I could take Catastrophe, but I just think Damnation's better. Comes down way sooner. Obviously, being able to destroy lands is nice for Catastrophe, but Damnation is just a strong card. Wrath effects are good. There's a good chance I end up with 2 or 3 in this deck, but I already have 2 cards which give me some good reach in the late game, especially Gideon. Gideon's going to do some real work in this deck, especially if I can get some Wrath. So I'm going to take Damnation. So next, another black-white fetch land, Vampire Hexmage, or Core Sanctifiers. And I'm just going to take the land. This is very exciting, especially after the last draft I did, where I didn't have hardly any quality lands. Now I have 1 shock land and then just another black-white land in pack 1. This is great. So here we could do Deathrite Shaman. Has been awesome. Even if you only can really get one side of that, splashing the second side, it's been a strong card. Exiling land from either graveyard, or actually any of it's either graveyard, but if you get fetch lands, it turns it on. But Deathrite Shaman's been awesome. But that's not the pick here. I think the pick here is Journey to Nowhere. Cheap removal. Get something going and that Sun Titan's not going to come back, but if it were, it's a nice combo with that in case the journey does get destroyed. So, Vivid Meadow, Go for the Throat, Duress, Mana Tithe, Snuff Out are all good choices, or even Urborg, but I feel with the 2 lands I already have, I probably don't need that. Vivid Meadow, if I just want to take a 3rd land and just have my mana be really, really good, and just be able to take all the black and white cards going forward. Being able to destroy almost any targetable creature in the cube is great with Go for the Throat. Mana Tithe is such a blowout, especially in a black-white deck. Nobody will see it coming, or they wouldn't if I was actually playing this, and that would be great. Snuff Out, free destroy creatures is nice. 4 life is a cost, but with the Sorin life gain, hopefully I can pick up some more here before the end of the draft is good. And Duress, just to kind of lay out, sculpt my game plan, and especially if I get multiple Wrath effects, this will help me deal with a card I would struggle with otherwise. This is actually a tough pick here. I would actually be glad taking this whole pack and just go into pack 2, because these cards are all strong. I don't have any targeted removal yet, so maybe... No, I'm just going to take the land. I think just taking the land here, and especially if I'm going to splash something else, is going to leave me pretty flexible. That could be wrong. That's a close pick. Alright, so I got Obzedat on the wheel, got Bloodgift Demon on the wheel as well, and then Exhume came back, and the Pilgrim, and Grim Lavamancer. So, Bloodgift Demon is strong, but I think, especially with the 3 lands I have already, trying to take Obzedat is going to be really good. I think that's the right pick here. Bloodgift Demon's a good card, but having 3 dual lands essentially, or 3 2-color lands in pack 1, makes Obzedat the better pick. So got a lot of cards back I want. I got the Edict or the Wall. Both cards are strong. I think maybe just take the Wall here to give myself some early defense against the aggro decks, and then if I don't know, Sun Titan's not coming back, but if it did, being able to Sun Titan Wall of Omens is awesome. And again, I'm hoping for a couple Wrath effects, which makes the Edicts a little less necessary, so I'm going to take the Wall. Nothing great here. I'm going to take Blood Scrivener. The odds of me having an empty hand are probably pretty low, but if nothing else, worst case it's a 2-1 to bring in against the aggro decks. So nothing here for me. If I was doing a real draft, which card would I want to face the least? Probably the Hearth Kami. I don't want to get my mana ball blown up for cheap. So Catastrophe came back, so I'm going to take that over the 2 green cards, and Hexmage came back. And okay, so those are all 3 good cards at the very end of the pack to put me in position where if I could side into the black little guys if I want to, if I'm against an aggro deck. And Hexmage might just make the main deck anyway. I would guess probably not, but it could happen. So let's go to pack 2 with my Orzhov deck. Alright. So Sword jumps right out at being awesome. Resto Angel. Don't really have a lot of combos with that. I do have Wall of Omens, so that's something. Mind Stone to help me get to my walkers faster. Braids. So I was talking about Black Fetch Land, which turns on both my colors. Dark Writ. The Sword's just got to be the pick here. The Sword's really good. Goes great with the tokens made here. And he even works with Gideon. So I'm going to take the Sword. Going to wheel something good out of this pack. Maybe a Mind Stone. That seems like a good pick for what I want. So, after the first pack being great, this pack's not nearly as good. Couple options. Got Balance, Innocent Blood if I want a cheap sack effect, and Thoughtseize. Pretty much 3 choices for my white-black deck. This is close. Thoughtseize and Balance are the 2 options, and I think those are definitely the 2 best cards. And Balance could just be so unfair if I can do, especially if I can pick up some more artifacts, like a Mana Vault and Sword, and then a couple Planeswalkers. Those are all the cards that really make it unbalanced. So, yeah, I'm going to take Balance here. So here's a Mind Twist, which is a windmill slam for me. Mana Vault into Mind Twist is insane. That's turn 2, discard 4 cards at random. And that's not a ridiculous draw to expect. So, yeah, I'd be happy to get the Grand Colosseum back or one of the black removal spells, but Mind Twist is awesome with fast mana. So, Vampiric Tutor, to give me any card that I need in my deck, put it right on top would be nice. Elspeth I just added back into the cube. She underperformed for a long time, so we cut her. It's been cut actually probably for like 9 months now, and I just brought her back in this week. So that might be actually be the pick here. Another way to make more tokens, but I could just try and keep making my mana better with Arid Mesa. Vampiric Tutor would be good. I think it's got to be one of these top 3 cards here. I think I just take the Arid Mesa. Oh man, this is close. I think you could easily justify any one of these 3 picks here. Being able to tutor up whatever card I needed though, especially with 2 walkers and with Mind Twist early or the sword, I'm going to take the tutor. That's really close and that could be wrong, but tutor's really good. 5th pick, Koth. Good day. But this pack's actually pretty dry for what I'm trying to do. I could take Reassembling Skeleton in case I get a Skull Clamp or something, or in case the Braids comes back and I decide to go into that. That's probably actually the best pick here, but an unfortunate 5th pick. Disc, Flicker Wisp if I want to reset my journey, or reset a Planeswalker. Of course, Skyfisher is great with like Mana Vault. Actually, yeah, both those are good with Mana Vault. Black Sun Zenith if I want another Wrath effect. I have 2 if you count Catastrophe. But I think taking one of the flyers is going to be a little better here. Actually, of course, Skyfisher has a lot of synergy with like Wall of Omens and Mana Vault. And I'm not going to run it, but Sarcomancy would be a good combo with that too. Yeah, it's close, so I'm going to take Skyfisher. So Gravecrawl, just another unfortunate pack for what I'm trying to do. So if this was a regular draft, the card I would least want to face, probably the Pride Mage. Pride Mage or Avalanche Riders getting my land blown up is not what I want to do. So I would take the Pride Mage. Alright, so Winter Orb, Ob Nixilis, Terramorphic Expanse, and Phyrexian Arena. I think I'm going to take Phyrexian Arena, especially since I don't have a lot of the black life loss cards. So far I have Tutor, and now I'm going to have Arena. Plus I have Sorin as a little lifelink to get it back. So I'm going to take Phyrexian Arena here. So this is my wheel, and the Mind Stone did come back as expected. I could take Dark Ritual as well, but I don't really have much to Dark Rit into with the double white cards. Both there. But I'm going to take Mind Stone and be happy. So, yeah, nothing that I want here. I will take Dreadbore on the off chance I splash red. I don't have any of the 5-color lands yet, or any red lands at all, but it could happen in pack 3. So, nothing here. I will take Icy. That shuts down sorted guys, and anything with Pro Rider Black I can shut down with Icy. Elspeth came back because, and this is kind of unfair because she just got put in the cube, so she's going she would not normally go this late, I don't think, but I'm going to take her here. Yeah, just take the white card, sure. Rolling Earthquake I would get annoying against my walkers and my 1/1s, and Shred Freak. So pack 3. So, wow. This pack's really strong. Got Mana Drain, one of the best cards in the whole cube, and I can't take it. Recurring Nightmare. What ways do I have to abuse Recurring Nightmare? I have Reassembling Skeleton. That's something. I have Wall of Omens. I have Obsidat, but I don't need to do that. I actually don't have a lot of ways to abuse Recurring Nightmare, and it is pack 3. Like Duplicate would be a good way, and that could come back on the wheel. I think I'm just going to take the Lingering Souls here. Like, I've had so much success recently with Lingering Souls, even in just a white deck splashing black, a white control deck splashing black. Lingering Souls has been really, really strong as just a way to just buy me a ton of time or cast a Wrath and get my stuff back. So I'm gonna be Lingering Souls here. Yeah, I could take Recurring Nightmare. I'll probably get a bunch of the sweet like Necrotals and stuff here through the rest of the pack and regret it, but I'm gonna take Lingering Souls. So there's the Wrath, and that's exactly what I want, is another Wrath effect. I could take Kokusho or Shieldred. I just don't need it, though. I have Gideon and Sorin already, and Obsidat as my finishers. So I have 3 strong finishers, and Elspeth, partially, and a sword. So I'm just going to take the Wrath. It gives me a second Wrath effect. I don't need a third, but I probably honestly would take a third Wrath effect. But I'm very happy with the second one here. So this is interesting. I could do Sublime Archangel as a 4/3 flyer. I could do Hypnotic Spectre, but I don't think that's as good. Ultimate Price is some targeted removal. So I have 2 Wrath effects, plus I have a balance, so I guess that's kind of a third. How much actual targeted removal do I have? Not a lot. But if I'm looking for another finisher, especially with my tokens, like Sublime Archangel would be awesome. So I think I'm going to take the Angel here. That seems like a good pick. Alright, so this is pick 4. Could do Abyssal Persecutor. How many ways do I have to deal with my own Persecutor? Gideon can destroy it. I have 2 Wrath effects, that's 3. Journey is 4. Balance. Yeah, I think that's enough. I think that's enough to take Abyssal Persecutor here as just a big dude. And just beat the crap out of my opponent. There's another white-black land. That seems really good. I could take Skinrender. How many ways do I have to abuse Mimic Vat? I have a lot of token makers, so that's not very good. Neither is Core Skyfisher. Actually, not a whole lot of ways to abuse Mimic Vat, other than obviously stealing my opponent's creatures after I Wrath away. But I think I'm just going to take another land here. Just keep improving my mana base. I think that's always a good choice, so I'm going to do that. Vindicate, yes. I've seen Vindicate go super late in my local games because it's 2-color card, and I think my drafters don't respect him as much as you should. But Vindicate's really good, so I'm going to take that one. That's sweet. So do I have ways to bruise Crucible? No, I don't. I'm just going to take Lodestone Golem here. That actually fits pretty well with my deck. Not as well with like my 5-drops, but I only have like 3 of those. So that's a good way to... I don't know. It might not make the deck, but we'll see. Oh, Frost Titan. I wish I was in blue anytime I see Frost Titan this late. But I don't want to... I'm not playing any of these cards. I'm not going to play Necropotence. I'm not going to play a triple black card and skip my draw step and take damage. And I didn't get any extra life gain cards, unfortunately. But what card would I least want to play against? Probably the Daze. I don't want to get dazed. Show and Tell is actually good against me too because I really don't have much sweet stuff to cheat in, but I'm going to take the Daze. Alright, Karmic Guide Wield. Got the Charger, got the Duplicant, and the Chalice. Chalice I can't take advantage of other than really with Mind Twist. Duplicant is okay. Great if I had Recurring Nightmare, which I passed, or Mimic Vat, which I passed. How much Artifact and Enchantment Destruction do I have currently? Actually... not a lot. I don't have O-Rain or anything, so maybe I need one of those effects. Yeah, I'm going to take the Seal. Karmic Guide, if Seal wasn't in this pack, I probably would take Karmic Guide. No, I wouldn't take Karmic Guide. I would take Duplicant. I just don't have enough good targets with Karmic Guide. I'm going to take Seal of Cleansing, though. So Kokusho came back. Okay, yeah, I'm taking Kokusho. Hypnotic Spectre came back. Easy pick over all these cards I can't play. And again, Spinethopter or Mental Misstep. I think Mental Misstep would have a lot more value. I already have plenty of flyers. So Mental Misstep would be a card I would bring out of the sideboard. Solemn, that might make the main deck. So I'm gonna draft the Solemn. Eternal Dragon, I don't think that's gonna make the deck, but it's more likely than Masticore. And it's a nice way to fix and fetch either color. And there's regular Masticore. Alright. So, black-white deck. So what am I doing? Put in all the potential cards I could run, or I would be happy to run. How's that? 2 Wrath effects is really strong. 4 drops really crowded. Alright, that's 27. This, can I get a rate? I think 17 land would be fine. Because I have the Mana Vault, I have the Wall of Omens to draw cards. And, yeah, I think that's fine. Plus the Mind Stone to get me a little higher. So, 4 cuts. So the cuts definitely, I got to cut from the 4-drop. I'm going to cut from the top. I'm going to cut Eternal Dragon first off. Do I even need Kokusho? Do I need Catastrophe? I don't know if I really need... I don't really need any of these big cards, honestly. I think my first cut's going to be Catastrophe, because I already have 2 Wrath effects at the 4-drop slot. I guess it doubles as an Armageddon. I don't know how often I'm going to be using that side of it. So, comes down to, I don't think I want both of these in. So, to the 4-drop slot, I think cutting Lodestone Golem is right, because I don't want to put that out. I mean, ramping that out with Mana Vault is sweet, but dropping Lodestone, then trying to cast these 5 and 6, makes them into 6 and 7 drops, that's not as good. So, make this bigger. I don't know if that helps at all. So, 25 cards. Make sure there's no free cards so I'm not casting Mental Misstep or Daze. So 2 cuts. I feel like it's got to be another 4-drop just looking at this curve. But having the Mind Stone helps, but I think cutting a 4-drop is going to be the right choice. So it's either Kokusho or Eternal Dragon. So Eternal Dragon helps fix my lands because I'm trying to cast a couple double black cards, couple double white cards, and Obsidat. And I just really don't need Kokusho. Like, I can destroy it with my own Gideon, and it's a 5/5 flyer, but I don't think I need Kokusho, so I'm going to cut it. Alright, so 1 cut left, because I'm okay with 17 land. If I go back to the 4-drop slot, I'm definitely keeping Sorin, definitely keeping the 2 Wraths, definitely keeping Persecutor. So I think it comes down to Icy, Archangel, or Solemn. And I think I think I need the Icy, especially against the fat. No. This is tough. Maybe I just cut Solemn. I guess I technically have 8 creatures in my deck now, but I have Sorin that makes tokens. So, and then Lingering Souls that makes tokens. So that puts me to like 10 creatures. So that's a pretty low creature count. So maybe Icy is the cut here with all my Wrath effects that I have. And maybe just bring it in if they have some Pearl White or Black Eye that I can't deal with. So there's 23. So I'm going to add in all these sweet lands I got. So that leaves me 13 mana slots. Definitely heavier white. And again, Eternal Dragon being able to fetch anything is nice. If I go 7/6, where does that put me? If I go 7/6, that puts me 11/10 on my source count, which is pretty high. That's a pretty good number of sources. If I go 8/5, that puts me 12/9. I don't think with like Phyrexian Arena at 3, I don't think there's any need to be that greedy. So I'm going to go 7/6. 1 more land would be nice. I did pass a fetch land at one point for, I can't remember what it was for, but it was for something good. But this deck looks sweet. Like, I would be very happy to run a deck of this quality with every draft I did. First picking Gideon definitely put me on the right path, and I think I got Sorin's second pick. So that was win-win getting both of those cards. So this is my Orzhov deck, and in an 8-man pod, I could easily 3-1 with this deck, and I wouldn't be shocked to go 4-0. Gonna do the most broken things I could do would be Mind Twist, and I do have 2 copies of every card in my deck, so that automatically makes everything better. So thanks for watching me draft this Orzhov deck, and I'll see you back later.